Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be tying the Leggy hare's ear. So the hook I have in the vise is a Hanak Barbed jig hook, 4-5 extra edge, and on that I have a 3.8mm bead slotted tungsten, and the thread I'm going to be using is Semperfli 12-0 in black. So we'll just catch on behind the bead, lay plenty of thread down just to secure the bead in place, and then we'll come down laying a base of thread along the shank just down to where the bend starts, and then we'll come back up towards our bead. There we go. Now for the legs and the tail, I'm going to be using some of these barred Sili legs. That's like a brown or pumpkin colour. So just pull off a length of that, double it over, and we'll tie that in just in behind the bead, and then down along the top of our shank. And again, bringing our thread all the way back up, just helps to thicken out our body a bit. Now for the rib, I'm going to be using some 0.2mm silver wire. This is Semperfli again. I'll just take off probably about 8 or 9 inches of that. We'll do a few flies and catch it in behind the bead, and again we'll just take it all the way down to our tail. Very, very simple tie this, not very many materials in it, it's pretty quick to do. And now for the dubbing, I just have some hare's ear dubbing that I've already plucked out of the mask and mixed. So we'll just create a bit of a dubbing noodle here. Nice and thick. Touch and turns, just bringing up towards our bead. Nice big thick chunky body. You don't have to go right all the way up to the eye. We're going to be adding a couple more legs in there and a thorax. So then we'll take our wire and we'll just wind our wire up in open turns. We'll come over the top of that 3 or 4 turns, and then on the inside of it, and we'll just worry that wire off. So for the legs, we're just going to be using the same material as our tail. We'll just trim our tail to length there, probably length and a half or twice the length of the shank, and that leaves us plenty of material here for our legs. So again, it's doubled over. I'll just hold it over the top of our shank, pinch it. That looks quite good there for length of the front, so just come in with a nice open lip. Don't tighten down too much, just enough to hold everything in place, and then at this point we can move our legs around to where we want them, and then we'll just lay down a few more tighter turns just to secure everything in place. Thorax for this fly is just going to be the same as our body. Again, just our hare's ear mix. If you wanted something a bit spikier, you could add a wee bit of squirrel or something to it. So again, a good thick dubbing noodle, and then just in between the front and rear legs working our way up to the bead. There we go. And then normally I would finish these off with a bit of super glue in the thread before I whip finish, but sometimes the super glue or varnish can be sore on your rubber legs, it can melt them. So just for this one, we'll come in straight in with a whip finish tool, half a dozen turns, and then just go again. And if you want, go for a third time. And then in the event that it would start and unravel, it's only going to unravel to the next whip finish, and then you just trim your thread off and go again. Just catch a few more. Fly will last a few more fish that way. So just for our front and back legs, we'll get them cut to length now. I just like to get them all together. Hold that down for the camera a bit, and then just come in with the scissors, one cut, and that's them all the same length. So just before the fly's finished, bit of a rub with the Velcro just to rough it all up. There we go. And there we have the Leggy Hare's Ear Nymph. Great little pattern. One of my favourites for point fly for bigger water and stuff. You know, it can replicate freshwater shrimp, or equally as good as a stonefly with legs like that. I've had a fair share of salmon on it over the years, and plenty of migratory trout. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it.